This is Ahmed Youssef and welcome to this video tutorial. During this video we'll be exploring the pipeline and how can we create a pipeline with Gitlab, and through this pipeline how can we create multiple stages with multiple jobs, and how can we create an artifact from these different jobs, and how can we use the same artifact among the cycle of the pipeline. So stay with us. Starting by creating a very simple project. Let's call this project pipeline demo, and let's add a readme file. Pipeline demo. Can add multiple files, but we can just use this very simple readme file so far. Now I will be cloning this repository to my local machine. I will be using the SSH for the clone, and I'm using Microsoft Visual Code. So let's start by cloning. Git clone the pipeline demo, and it's cloned. So let's go to pipeline demo and let's create some files. So the first file I'm going to create, which is the file that contain our source code, I call it index.html. Inside index.html I will be creating very simple header, which is welcome to our demo site, and I will add this and comment HTML. Okay, so I will be creating another file, which is very essential file for creating or for dealing with this pipeline, which is .gitlab-ci.yaml. This file, which is called .gitlab-ci.yaml, will be used to describe the stages and the jobs included in the pipeline. So we will be defining the stages, and let's say that we have single stage, I will call it package, and inside this stage I have single job, I will call it build package, and it will be a very simple stage. We will have only simple script where we are creating a folder. Inside this folder we will be creating we will be copying every resource inside that repository. Let's at the beginning echo something. So this is the package job, and then let's create a directory. Let's call it .app, and I will just tell you why did we call it .app. And then let's cp everything that we have in our repository, which in essentially the index.html and the readme file. We will be moving everything to .app, and then after we do this we will be moving .app to app. So we call it app. Why did we call it at the beginning .app? So it shouldn't be included in the copy command, so we don't go into infinite loop that we are trying to copy app directly to itself. So we call it essentially .app to avoid this loop. So now we have this script which will be doing this simple job. Before the script, let's specify the stage that we are in, and it's the package stage, and let's also specify the image, which is the Docker image that will be created in order to run this script. Let's use Alpine Linux, and Alpine is used usually because it's a very simple and small Docker image, so it will not take long time in order to be pulled from the container. So if we did so and our script has been executed, by the end of this script we have a directory called app that contains everything in the repository. But what happens usually when this script is end, the container which is containing this script will be terminated, which means that this app directory will not be usable later on. And in most of cases we need to export this app directory, which contain the build or the executable version of our project that we need to deploy or to deliver to the client. Why we need to use artifacts. So what artifacts actually is? Artifacts is a group of files or paths that will be exported outside the container before the job is terminated. So in this case we are interested in the directory that we call app. So this means that by the end of the script the folder which is called app will be exported out of the container before it gets terminated. So let's commit what we have added, adding Gitlab pipeline, and then we will push this to the directory. And this, when we push this to our repository, we should expect that there is a new pipeline should be created. This pipeline should contain only a single job, and this job should be able to create an artifact that include our HTML page. So let's see this is happening. Yes, and everything went well, and our echo has been executed, and the make dir, cp, and move has been created, and now we can browse our artifacts here. If we went to our artifact, we will find the folder app and the indexed HTML page over here. Yes, awesome. So let's now try to make another simple update here. Let's just add another header too, and we call it another header. So, and then very quickly we'll be adding this. We will commit and we'll push this just to ensure that our pipeline is working in a good way. We should find another pipeline running here. This pipeline contains only single job, and it should create another artifact, and this artifact will contain our HTML page. Okay, so let's wait for a second. Yes, everything went fine. Let's go to browse, app, and then index HTML, and that's it. Now we have our file created. So what we need to do right now, we need to create another stage which contains another job, and this job will be dealing with the same artifact that we have created. Let's say that this new job will verify that the artifact is created. So what we are going to see right now, how can we use the same artifact between different jobs, and we will be seeing actually how Gitlab is handling this. Let's create another stage. Let's call it verify, and let's create another job which will be verify package, and inside this we will state that this specific job actually is related to the verify stage, and inside this we will be adding, let's see if there is something. Yes, there is script. Our script will be just, let's list what's actually contains inside the directory app. And as you can see here, what we have just done is that we referred inside this script to what actually has been created as an artifact at the previous job. And why do we say that this is the previous job? Because simply we mentioned that this stage is the second stage and this is the first one. So package will be creating a directory called app, and the verify stage will be listing the content of the app directory. So if the artifact was not created at the first stage, this stage will fail because simply it will fire or throw an error that there is no directory called app. So let's save this, let's add it to our repository, let's commit, and let's say that adding the stage. Let's push. Yes, here we go. Let's see how this is going to affect our pipeline. We have here a new pipeline that contains two different stages, and each stage, as we expect, is having one single job. Let's see what's going on here in the package. Yes, it succeeded. Let's go to another job. It will end very quickly. This one, let's see if it's going to success. Oh, okay, so we forgot to mention the image here. So Gitlab will be using the default image, which is Ruby. This might take a little while. It takes longer than Alpine because actually it has it's larger than Alpine actually, so it might take couple of seconds more than on time. So yes, it's already there, the image is pulled, preparing the environment, and as you are going to see here, the first thing in preparing the environment is getting from the Git repository. And after we build the Git repository and it was imported to the image or the container which is running our script, the second thing is downloading artifact, and this is one of the very interesting things that happen automatically during Gitlab. It actually downloads the artifacts, so the artifacts are there and our ls command actually will be executed successfully, and here we have our file listed successfully. And the last thing that we note that this second job actually it didn't create an artifact, and this is interesting because when we described this job we didn't mention an artifact. So this job actually is creating an artifact, this job is using the artifact but it's not creating another one. That's why there is no artifact listed here. But if we went to the jobs and so get back to the first one, which is build package, we will see the artifact is here. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.